All righty, Chandan, turning it over to you, and I will stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Mark. So let me share my screen. Can you see my robot?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Mark, for giving me the opportunity to talk about this topic. So how this topic has come into the existence. I think 2-3 months back, I tried to compile a LinkedIn story, and I think Jamie is supposed to observe that, and she requested, like, can that be a discussion topic? I said, yeah, that's a discussion topic. Why not? So that's how this theme has come into the existence. So let me quick start this conversation. So just to visualize this analogy which is built is actually from swimming. So swimming, I know most of you love swimming. So from there, I try to build that analogy, like from swimming, how can I take it to the next of our work, like digital transformation. So quickly, just to touch upon, like my initial decade of my career, I was involved many large program execution or product development. So I started with building this product. What you're seeing here, it is actually called patient monitoring system. So most of the hospitals nowadays, you will have this device which actually measure the vital parameter of every patient, whoever admits there. Though it looks very simple, but it's very complex systems. So I spent 4 years to build this system in C++ and embedded software. So that gave me an immense opportunity to really know what's inside this, how this machine can help human life, because it's one of the mission critical systems. So but I'm fortunate that I was actually part of these large teams and great C++ developer who has actually taught me about building systems. So that is one great opportunity I had. And after that, I joined Honeywell Aerospace System. So whatever you are seeing here, it is a Airbus A380 cockpit system. So I was involved in this device, which is visible here. It's called Egpws, Enhanced Ground Proximity Warning System. It helps the pilot to maneuver the aircraft from a different terrain, from different obstacles. So if you try to take your aircraft towards a building, it will make a lot of noise. Terrain, pull up. So it's a mandatory device planted into this system, and it's not an easy system. This is also one of the mission critical system which actually interact with thousands of sensors to really tell that warning call terrain, pull up. So by working, I worked with Airbus A380 and then also Dreamline 787. So that also gave me an immense opportunity to work with the large system, and those programs actually made me what I am today. And I am thankful to those programs, the people, and the opportunity I got. After that, I joined ABB, Asia Brown Brewery, and this is one of the industrial automation product. It's a called power system product, and most of the power grid today, everywhere you go, this has a automated control system. So whatever you are seeing here, from this control room, we can actually completely navigate the whole power flow into a city or a state or a town. So from one single point, like if you can hack this system, you can really power off or power on or do whatever you would like to see. So that's the power of this system. So it's a very also complex system. Like all the information it gets from the field, all the bus, all the switch gear, whatever is lying in the system, they can easily power off. Like if there is any tornado coming, they can from this control room turn off the system and again turn back to the system. So that's also another large system which I've worked on. And one of our customer was New York Power Grid. So whatever picture you are seeing here is from that New York Power Grid. So what I am trying to say is actually all those program has gave me an opportunity to understand the large system, and that is helping me to stay relevant in today's world. And I try to capture all the learnings as and when I just move on. I try to capture all these things and in the blogs or in the different means, so that I don't forget those information. So that's how this compilation has born. So you can say this is also another my additional project. Every year I do one of the project which helps me to formulate my thoughts or actually helps me to also do my job better. So that's what about me. So let me go into the swimming pool. So how do you feel like when you look at this picture? This is something to do about feeling. So whenever you are first learning about the swimming, Initially, it may be challenging, right? Initially, first few days, but over a period of time, you will build this mastery. Like, okay, you can swim in the swimming pool in your backyard or in your apartment complex or your community center. And over a period of time, it become monotonous. Like after maybe 45 minutes or maybe 1 hour of the swimming practice, maybe you have crossed it maybe 10 times, 20 times. Over a period of time, you always look for the next level of challenges, next level of scale. Like, what is that? So if you talk to swimmers, like their dream is to actually go to the English Channel. So it's like a Makkah for the swimmer. Like if you are a mountaineer, you would like to climb Himalaya because that's the highest level of mountaineering. So same way, like every swimmer has a dream to go to this English Channel and cross it. So what is the difference? Like from a swimming pool, what near at your house, at your community center versus this English Channel swimming pool, what is the difference? So let us try to understand this. So some of the characteristics of English channels, I would like to highlight that it's in between UK and France. You might you know it, or this is what it is, and distance is around 34 kilometers. Temperature is varying from 6 degrees to 14 and 18 degrees centigrade. Weather continuously changing. It's sometimes very windy, sometimes swelling. There is a lot of tides in the channel. You will come across a lot of jellyfish, powerful currents. These are some of the interesting things you will come across if you say you happen to really aspire to go into English Channel. Salty, cold water. And if you are trying for this English Channel swimming, you can have a boat who can help you, but you cannot touch that boat. They can feed you, they can give you food and supply, all these things, but you can't touch the boat. So that's the rule of the game. And that space is one of the busiest shipping space. So a lot of ships will be moving towards that direction. So what does that mean? So these are all some of the things we need to watch out. And other than jellyfish, fortunately, you will be able to come across bottlenose and dolphins, seals, blah, blah, blah. So many things you'll come across. And of course, seasickness, like it takes how long? It takes 27 hours max, from 7 hours to 27 hours to cross the English Channel because it is 34 kilometers. So imagine the scale, imagine the level of exercise you need to do to really reach that. And you may get hypothermia. It is not a child play. So you can imagine the scale. Just imagine from where you have started. You have just started your journey from your swimming pool, and we are talking about the English Channel. Now we have talked about the characteristics of the English Channel. Now you can think about the scale, complexity, and the kind of challenges a swimmer will experience when they will get into this English Channel. Okay, so how do they prepare? What do they do? By the way, I would like to really tell about this. So far, for last, I think 50 years, there are 27 fatality happen in the English Channel because of so many reasons. So that's something to be really watch out. Now, how do they prepare? What do they do? It is not the same in your backyard swimming pool. It is not at all the same. The scale, the complexity, the challenges, and the kind of preparation is needed. It's completely diverse, completely different. You need to, when I have really discussed with some of the people, you need to really practice in open water for long time, for long miles, for long hours. And you need to accustom with the cold water because it should not be like 20 degrees centigrade or 30 degrees centigrade. It has to be cold because that is where you are actually going to swim in English Channel. You need a strong support team member who can help you to maneuver this swimming pool. A good captain and medical team constantly, because 7 hours to 27 hours, that's the span, like where most of the people have really gone through. And it takes minimum 5 to 6 years to really build your stamina, that's capability, ability, mental strength, whatever you call it. You need to really scale yourself up to reach to that level. Mind, people are talking of the strength of the mind, the dedication, the commitment is something which had to be continuously built upon it. So and you need to really stretch in between so that this 7 hour to 27 hour, that range of swimming, it not really stop you. So one of my friends, Shrikant Vishwanathan, I worked with him in Honeywell in 2009 when I was actually leaving Honeywell. That time I just handed over to him my work. He used to work in a Honeywell building solution. And in 2015, he crossed the English Channel. So I was not knowing at that time he was a swimmer, but he told later that like it took 6 years, like long period of practice to reach to that level, several attempts to reach that level. So what are you talking about? So if I am a swimmer, if I am an entry-level swimmer versus if I am a master swimmer, and people ask also, how about like if Michael Phelps try to cross the English Channel? So will it be successful? Will it be challenging for him? So, and then also I read about like it's a completely different topics, the diverse topics. It's not the same context, because English Channel swimming need different types of preparation. It's like a sprint versus marathon. The sprint practice versus marathon practice is completely different. So we need to groom ourselves for that purpose. So the moment the context changes, our preparation, our mental stamina, our readiness is completely different. So that's how the scale and complexity we are talking about. That's the challenge we are talking about. So with that, let us go into the actual stuff. I'm getting my office mail. Okay, so let me move on to our real world, like what gives us bread and butter. So I'm just putting a timer here so that I can fix on time. Okay, so let me move into the next chapter of our journey. Most of us, in the form of a Scrum Master, Agile coach, product owner, product manager, whatever role you are playing, either you are building a rocket, either you are building that next generation battery storage which can run a city, or you are developing a vaccine. More or less, you will be seeing the challenges or the scalability of the challenges is actually multiplies whenever you think about this large thing like building a rocket, building a vaccine. The scale and complexity you see, it's the same analogy. I'm going to keep referring this. What we are seeing here, like today's most of the engagement is actually digital in nature. Most of our large program, most of our large product development, it's actually going to be more and more digitized, more and more digital in nature. When I started that passion monitoring system, the kind of complexity I have, it is actually still a desktop standalone system, versus now it is a globally diversified system where it is interacting with the many diverse devices, right? Now you imagine the scale it has grown. So most of the program, what I am seeing in my experience in another upcoming decade, I'm seeing it will be more and more digitized, more and more AI, more and more data, more and more cloud. A lot of aspects is coming into this picture. So why I'm telling this? The probability is that you will be able to come across this kind of complexity, because digital means complex, and slowly we'll get into there. But in our upcoming days, we have to be more and more digital savvy. The more and more digital savvy, this complexity will come across. So let us think about a situation. So there is a team. Maria is a product manager. So just one of my colleague, Maria, is a product manager, and she has her wonderful team. And Kelly is the Scrum Master, Jim is the Agile coach, and you have a very fantastic customer to satisfy. And she has a wonderful team of Avengers who is helping her to build a system. So what is that system? So she got an assignment to build this system, which is actually a healthcare product. And it is the latest healthcare product, which is actually cutting across all the technology, what you can think of, big data, the microservice, and the cloud, and all the multiple devices. So that means the IoT is also there. So why we are doing this? Why doing this modernization? Because the legacy system is not able to satisfy our customer, because legacy system is very slow. Legacy system is very difficult to really manage. So we need to go for this kind of solution, which is very robust, and speed of agility or speed of doing business is much more high with this system. So Maria has, or her team has got this assignment to develop this system. So what are we talking about now? What type of challenges Maria will get into? Now Maria is going from her backyard swimming pool to the English Channel. Maria is literally thinking about like, okay, now I need to cross the English Channel. Now I need to really list down what are those cold weather, salty water, 27 hours of swimming, then the busiest traffic. All those things are coming under her way to build this system. And it is a multi-year program. And due to the nature of the digital world, it's a multi-year problem. So what are the threats then? Okay, let us jump into this. So you see, the statistics says that most of the digital program get into turbulence. So in English Channel, you never know when the weather changes. If the weather changes, your complexity multiplies. So same with any digital program we are getting to it. It's not easy. It's full with a lot of challenges, and success rate is very less because of the nature of the program. And all the successful companies who have been able to really overcome those challenges, they are really minting a lot of money. So lot of stats are there. You can always refer this, like whatever I am saying, that the success of digital program is what is the chances of success of the digital program. Now, if I am a Maria, then how should I prepare myself to really overcome some of these challenges? So I just want to highlight some of the challenges like which we come across, like which I have come across in the digital transformation program. They are immense, but I have just highlighted few. And these are something to watch out. So just to start with this, like I have put it in a non-linear fashion so that linearity can goes away. I have not put it in a sequentially. So just to highlight that in the digital world, everything is linear, everything is non-linear, not sequential. Everything comes suddenly, parallelly from all the dimension. So wherever we touch about the digital program, these are the fundamental problems we see come across. Organizational structural problem, either structure is not allowing the product to be built very fast. People problem, people are not ready to really adapt with the kind of changes we are asking for. The transformation strategy has not been formulated properly. Most of the time, if you come across, or if you are currently dealing with any digital transformation program, you will be able to see that these are some of the dominant issues organizations are facing. Technology, the technology itself is a major bottleneck. It is sometimes enabler, it itself is a sometimes bottleneck. The process, the entire process, the business process or the product building process, the entire process itself could be a bottleneck. And the foundation is how well the leadership is enabling, how the culture is enabling. So you will be able to see that these are the major challenges when you go into English channel, especially in our digital transformation context. So think about this scenario: swimming in a calm sea versus swimming in a turbulent sea. Just you have to feel it. When you feel it, you will be able to experience it, like, okay, what we are talking about, and why should I listen, why should I bother, why should I really take care of all these things? Then you will be able to understand like what we are talking about. So whenever you touch a legacy system, at least maybe you will not able to see this pole, but in India, if you go to town, you will be able to see this pole. Now you are the electrician who's supposed to fix this pole. Think about a situation: you are the electrician who's supposed to fix this pole. How dare you would like to touch this pole? Where you will touch this pole? Our legacy system, which is built on a monolithic structure, suddenly it gone into modernization. Now you think monolithic to modernization, like touching this system, touching this electric pole. You are Maria, how can you help? You are the Kelly, how can you help? You are the Jim. You remember our strong team, what you're talking about? We'll be keep referring this particular thing. So I would like to really touch upon, there are some external factors which is significantly influence the digital transformation to happen. The external factor, though we do not have a much purview or much control to do that, but it influences us. Russia war, recession coming. How does it matter? If it is happening in some corner in the world, why should I bother? But it matters. Anywhere in the world, in the corner, something is happening. It is significantly causing a disturbance into other side of the world because of the supply chains are so interconnected. And digital product happen to be so much diverse. They are so much interconnected. Our entire business model is interconnected. We are living in a global system. So that's how we need to be really cautious when you are build a transformation strategy. Is it taking care about the changing needs of everyday basis, every month basis? So how dynamic that transformation strategy is. Why we are talking? We are helping Maria, we are helping Kelly, or maybe I'm a Kelly. So if I'm a Kelly, this pastel analysis can help us to understand whatever that healthcare system we are building, how much it is vulnerable from the external system. Are we robust enough to really take care about this thing? So this is one of the aspects I would like to touch upon. The way we are communicating, the way we are aligning all the parties, because all the rocket what we are building, all the large system we are building, definitely there are multiple teams are involved, definitely there are multiple leadership people are involved. So how well we are aligning them, how well we are binding them together. So is there any strategy, is there any things we are thinking about it? So this is also another biggest bottleneck. If you survey it, like in the digital reason for a failure of the digital program, you will be able to see that silos organizations, I'm sure you might have come across, like these are the like a business unit or a squad or a tribe, like where they are building their own kingdom. Sometimes they don't want to talk about the other unit, maybe different barriers, different mental barriers, different rule in the organization. So this causes a lot of problem to really build a large system. It caused like a slowing down the creation of the large system. So this is one of the major problems. And then hands off, like whenever though they will be talking the inter-department or cross-department communication, but you will be seeing there is a latency, there is a slowing down system because of so many reasons. The systems are not talking with each other, the process are not talking with each other, the culture, the context are completely different. Some department is in Europe, some department is in China, so there is a cultural clash is happening, and because of that hands-offs are happening. But we are a globally distributed team, and we are trying to build this large healthcare system where we are geographically dispersed. So how do we handle that? The digital is demand a lot of skilled resource, especially AI, data, cloud architect, and then a lot of experiment because we don't know what we are building. So the people are the building blocks. People are the fundamental of all these digital transformations. So how good our people are, how competent our people are. That is something when you think about this large scale program. So it's as you are seeing, it's a multiple attempt, like the air, the water, and land, like a army, navy, the aircraft. So all the direction we are trying to attack to address this situation. How well our leaderships are involved. Are they sitting on the ivory tower and then giving a command, sitting in the command center, just collecting the information, or they are grounded, they're sitting with the team trying to understand what problem our team members are facing, and let us discover later, figuring it out. That is also another biggest bottleneck what we are observed, like in the large program execution. What else I have? Yes, so the complexity, because that's the another thing I would like to talk about is the complexity. Most of the digital transformation is characteristics are complex in nature, and if you have read it, like complex adaptive system, the characteristics is evolving and emerging. You cannot predict what is upcoming. It will evolve, and you need to just get along with this thing. You need to just address it on the runtime. You need to really dynamically figure it out. Okay, how well I should work it out, how well I should fix it. If the mindset is not like that, if we do not have that, okay, I want a plan, I would like to be plan driven, then the chances failure is very high, because the complex systems characteristics is changing nature of this thing. So that's why I would like to touch upon, like, organization complexity is one of the biggest bottleneck. There could be a vertical complexity, there could be a horizontal complexity, there could be a bureaucratic nature, the strategy is missing, process is not enabling. So we as a facilitator or an agile coach or as a whatever role we are playing, we try to really look into this with our lens, how well all those factors has been taken care. Vertical, horizontal, spatial complexity. So first, whenever I deal with this kind of large system development, I need to really analyze all this plot, whatever I just highlighted few. Of course, another aspect is, are you buying something or are you building something? Or are you buying and building and just trying to fix it? Because it significantly differs. Whenever you are going into this hybrid model, your strategy completely differs. What works in a buying will not work in building. The strategy changes, the skill set changes, process changes, the complete arena changes, complete landscape has changes. So what I have touched upon here, this is what I have experienced whenever I deal with some kind of a large digital transformation program. Like, you will be able to see the footprint of all those aspects. Something is very the problem are very deep, somewhere it is very at surface level, sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not visible, you need to hunt for it, but it will be there, the footprints will be there. So what do I do? Okay, I know this. If I read internet also, I'll come to know this. But our biggest challenge is, I would like to help Maria, because I am an agile coach. I work with her as a product manager. I would like to coach Maria so that together as a whole team, I would like to really address all those factors. We need to take a strategic steps to really address all these factors, because our solution, what we are building, it's very complex in nature, and complexity, as we have described, will be constantly changing. And how can I help Jim or Kelly or Maria to come over this kind of situation? I'm sure I have not told anything new. You might have come across all these things in your context, but I just reinforce this particular problem, that this problem remains in the system. These problems are there. We need to find a course of actions on that and do something about it. But these problems, you will be able to see that sometime we will be able to really completely address this one, but sometime we need to really work it out continuously. So it's not a silver bullet, it's not a quick solution, but we need to find this problem. So with this, these are all whatever you will be experiencing in English channel. The person who is going to swim in English Channel very much aware what are the difficulties they are going to face. He or she knows that I'm going to swim for 7 hours to 27 hours. He or he mentally prepared that this is the challenge. I will come across jellyfish. I will come across hypothermia, whatever it is. I will face a traffic challenge. They know that and they work on it because that's the way forward. There is no other alternative. There is no shortcut. So in the digital transformation program also, you will come across this problem. You know it. You know it. If you search also, you will be able to see that. Now let us go into the next platform. Like, what can I do about it? What do I do now? Okay, I have come across all this thing now. What do I do? So let me zoom it. I'm not going to read out this, but I would just really touch upon some of the vital things which has really worked with us, which is really helping us now also, which has actually enabled us to address this complexity. At the end of the day, whatever I am saying here is not going to help you. What is working in a healthcare system will not work in aerospace, will not work in a retail, will not work in a telecom. Because whatever I am saying here, it worked with me, but perhaps it may not work with you. But you can do some experiment and really address these challenges. You can experiment, but you cannot sure that, okay, it will solve your problem. Now, again, how can I help Maria? So at the end of the day, I want to build a system, or I want to build a digital solution which can satisfy our Thanos. Thanos is our customer. So I am satisfying our Thanos. And for that, we have a team member called Avenger team member. So I want to start with this, like big picture thinking. I am an agile coach. Okay, join into this particular program, which is developing a next generation healthcare system, which can be accessed from any device, any pharmacy, hospital, anywhere, seamlessly should be able to help the patient to know what's happening. So that's the system we are developing. Now, to build such a system, we need to really take care from 60,000 feet point of view, how well it has been formulated. So these are some of the factors like we have been chalked out in our program, like, okay, all this factor has to be in place. Of course, the gradients can be differ, like the entry level or the maturity can be vary, but at least all those factors needs to be there in the system. Say about governance. Okay, now for this large healthcare development program, how is the governance system are in place? How mature the government system is? And what can I do to improve the current governance practice? Is it helping me to move the needle towards the positive direction? Or take about change management, or take about any other thing, agile release management. How well the entire release process has been taken care? Is this enabling us to satisfy Thanos? Is this helping up to move forward? So what are we doing about it? There is no prescription, but this is the area to really look upon. This is the area to really work upon. So as a coach, what do? We actually come out with a coaching backlog. And coaching backlog, from where I should start, if I really assess the entire ecospace, like whatever the digital healthcare product they are building, if I join there tomorrow as a agile coach or product manager or program manager, I will assess like all those factors, how well it is in position. I'll assess them and see their maturity. Is there anything I can do? So formulating or chalk out a plan is something which can minimize some of the complexity. Minimize, do not eliminate. Second factor, I would like to talk about this product development strategy. How well that product development strategy are in place, how well it has been formulated by considering all those aspects. Today's all digital product is all about experience. How are you feeling? How are you using the system? Are you satisfied the way you use the system of healthcare system? The kind of technology is used. Is this technology is helping us to create the feature faster, or is this technology is helping us to find the issues faster? Like, so the technological dimension, identifying Thanos, like, okay, what Thanos wants. Okay, are you sitting with the Thanos to understand like what are their real needs are? Some of this which he can express, he cannot express. So those expectation and the process, end-to-end process. Is this process enabling us, or it's really hindering us, or is it really slowing us down? What are we doing about it? So again, formulating a strategy around this, and of course the branding. Without branding, today's digital world, it is very difficult to penetrate to the crowd because of the crowded space in the digital ecosystem. It's too much crowded, too much noise. So that is very important pillar. And at the bottom of this, our people aspects, the leadership capability, our high performance team, and the cultural enablement. I know you know everything. or most of us are actually, if you close your mind, most of you are wherever you are working, and you will be able to footprint of all these things. But the question is how well those things has been formulated, how mature those things are. If I just talk about the culture, okay, what do you mean by culture? Now here we are talking about, like, is this the right culture which is helping us to build this digital product? Is Maria happy? Is Maria is able to reach to the Thanos at the time whatever they are targeting for? So if you ask this kind of questions, it will give us some kind of a retrospective, like, okay, what do I do now? Okay, I have joined in this team. What do I do now? By asking this question, first we will focus on those areas, like, okay, how well these areas are positioned and how mature those are, and what can I do about this? Let me go to some other area. Okay, this is another area I would like to talk about is everything is high performance team. All the team is the end of the day is the actually backbone of any system, any company, any organization is the team. And the high performance team, I'm visualizing it as like a tree, and it has a foundation, it has a trunk, and then only it will give you the outcome. And some of the factors which actually create a high performance team is ability to understand the context. If I am building a rocket, my contexts are changing. If I'm going to a swimming pool, my contexts are changing. So the strategy changes based on the context, because the customer space changes, the problem statement changes. Are we able to assess that and really act on that? Then team composition, like whenever you build any digital product, you should have a data, you should have a tester, you should have means all those composition, the skills, competency, what I'm talking about, the chemistry, how well we are gelling with. If I have a team member from the Europe, from the US, from the Africa, are we able to get along with together? How well we are gelling? Because that's the dynamics of the team. If it is a better dynamics, your chances of success is much more higher. Coaching. Everywhere everybody is a coach, a leader is a coach, the team member is a coach, everybody has some type of coaching. Like if I am very good at certain things, I'll be able to, through my coaching mechanism, I will be able to spread it faster, because in the digital world, every knowledge is continuously changing. How can I cope up with the changing needs? The technology is changing, customer behavior is changing. It's the coaching which is actually helping, and the leadership who is actually enabling everything's to happen. So what Maria does, Maria sits with the team, Maria try to understand what my team members are doing, what type of challenges my team members are facing, what can I do differently, what can I do? So if we take care about all those aspects during our coaching, chances are that we'll be able to really cater some of this complexity dimension. We cannot eliminate, but complexity will be there. The one of the strongest foundation, whatever I have seen, which is really significantly helping us, is actually this Obeya concept. We are building a systems which is actually consisting of multiple teams. Like it's 100+ people who are actually involved in this data lake, building data lake and creating this front end and then putting everything in the clouds. It's a multiple team. So how do I bring all the people in one page? How do I aligning them together? If I am formulating some strategy, there is a possibility that some of the team members may not align with us. How do I do that? How do I consistently able to bring all the product teams into the single page? So Obeya, you might read it, like it's a Japanese concept where it is talking about the large wall. So that means I should have a wall where everybody can see at runtime what's happening, what is the strategy, what are we developing, how many microservices, where are the testing, is this deployed or not? 100 of the questions you can ask, but it should be really radiate that information. So thank God to the Miro, what I'm using right now. Miro has significantly enabled all the party to be on one page virtually from anywhere in the world at any time. So these tools are actually enabling all the party to really connect, sync, align, collaborate, right? So the more and more as a coach, we are enabling that to happen. Confusion eliminating, conflicts minimize, and then chances of that complexity will come down. Yeah. So Mark is giving some indication. So quickly, just to move around. So we have been using USD system thinking tool, like just to go bottom of the iceberg, like what is not known, what is missing. We keep on asking this question. Everywhere we go, like if I just plot this one, we go to that iceberg bottom, what I don't know, what should I discover, how should I poke, what do I do to discover this unknown? So that's another thing I would like to touch upon. What is this? Another thing I would like to talk. Yes. So the same, whatever that Obeya room I showed, how can I run the large connection meeting is open space. Like we have been executing it for several years. Like it is really successful for us. It's really helping us to really discover the unknowns, really bring out the people's mind into the table. So these are some of the things really helped us. So I do believe that you please study this one and run it several times. It is very uncomfortable to run it with 100 people without any agenda. But on a run time, once you start running it with 100 people, things will evolve, things will emerge, people will be comfortable, people will talk about what is the bothering thing. What is the elephant in the room? Can you talk about the elephant? Can you do something about it? So this will really significantly enables people to have this that creative clash, and significantly this particular model, this liberating structure is really helping us, like giving that comfort to the people, allow that safety space for the people to speak out without any fear. So the more we allow that to happen, more we give that comfort, that then only the things will come somewhere from some corner in the room. Some people will comment that, okay, this particular system will not work because I have seen this particular software is not written properly. So that comfort, whenever I give to the people, then things will emerge and the possibilities are there. We will be able to really solve the complex problem much more faster. So I just touched upon some of the critical point as Mark is continuously indicating. So coaching is the another part. Like I strongly believe the whole organizations need to be in the coaching hat, coaching mindset. Leaders, coaches should be constantly coaching the people to uplift them from wherever they are. So that is something very vital for us. And we as a coach are religiously really developing that. So, and just to remind that what I am saying, it will not work for you. So please experiment whatever we have shared and do a lot of study and experiment and see that what it evolves. And tomorrow, maybe next time, whenever you will also give a session, you will also tell us something different. So all those factors we have experimented and it has really helped us to minimize some of the complexity. So just by looking at the time, just want to tell, like Chole, she has crossed English Channel 40 times. And she has put herself in a Guinness World Record. Imagine the kind of mental stamina, the kind of preparation, the kind of challenges she has gone through to reach to this level. So whenever we think about like crossing the English Channel or building this large, complex digital system, which Maria is trying to build, it's a continuous journey where you will come across many different challenges, but with the right mindset. It's the mindset is all about like, okay, let it come anyway. I'll explore it. I'll find a way, and let us all together figure it out. So that what we are seeing could be a way forward, and that will help us. I have covered it very fast in the English Channel. Covered that English Channel very fast because Mark is. We reached the time actually, so we want to give a dedicated time for all of you to really discuss. Let us discuss like what comes to your mind. What are the thoughts comes to your mind?
So Chandan, we've got one in the chat, and yeah. Mukesh, you want to unmute yourself and ask? I can ask on your behalf if you like, but I thought you might want to ask directly.
It's always good to put your voice as well, Mark, isn't it? So Chandan, I guess we have been debating in the past as well, and it is great to see the learning that you have shared. But what comes to my mind is that with everything there, we have a lot of tools, a lot of ways, a lot of learnings, a lot of success stories to learn from. But end of the day, I always see a challenge where how do you balance your efforts between the long-term impact that you want to make, where you want to work on the belief system, you want to work on creating that mindset which enables them or everyone to achieve the result, or also providing short-term support, ensuring that they are able to get that momentum in their journey of their learning, right? So how do you balance your approach there?
Yeah, so that's why I immediately zoom into the silver bullet part and talked about the Avengers. So you see, it's actually continuous evolution. So I also put that that continuous evolution part. So we need to have a conversation among all the leaders and all the team members, like what it fits to us. What do we would like to achieve? Should I solve this problem now, or should I talk about the long term? Because everything is a context specific. Because right now, if I am bleeding, like I'm not able to make money, so should I make money now, or should I build a system which will give us money in another 10 years? So it's some kind of a conversation among the team members and come to agreement, like what do you want? Long term or short term? What it works for us. So with the architecture team, with the product management team, with the all the team members involved to build a system, we need to come to this agreement and come out with the action plan. Because there is, see, right now there is a crisis in the market, right? Like so either we build a system which will sell in 10 years, or we do something which will immediately give us some money for some breathing space to reinvest into the next feature development. So it's up to us. How do you want to take it as a whole team?
I guess you really touched upon the very crucial part. It's a very difficult question, I know, and glad that you call it out. And I completely agree. It is all about the context. It is about the people involved, right? They have to figure out what is good for them, what is best for them. Thank you, Chandan.
Thanks, Mukesh. It was excellent question.
So Chandan, we have another question. So Emmanuel asked, is there more information on the Obeya tool?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, okay, I might have written something on LinkedIn, so I'll search it and maybe I'll broadcast somewhere, because of my habit, actually, whatever we experiment, we usually write it in the LinkedIn post, so that it helps us to become better. So I'll try to find, and somewhere in this channel I'll broadcast it, like Obeya, because we have been using his Obeya for at least 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to share that with me, I'll share it when the recording and the slides go out. I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah.
So
I'll share with Mark. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? If you want to just unmute yourself and ask Chandan, feel free. Or if you want to throw it in the chat, I can ask on your behalf if you'd rather do that. But yeah, so what else, y'all?
Or if it is not question, you can also echo with me, like if you have come across similar types of challenges in the digital transformation journey.
If nobody's going to ask, then I'm going to take you up on your offer, Chandan. So it seems like the larger you go in organizations, the number of dependencies seem to increase.
Yes. Yeah. True.
How do you approach, because many times when you talk about dependencies, it involves organizational changes. You have different departments with different department managers that that manage different, groups of people. For instance, you have UI designers. And you may have a UI design group that aren't formally part of a Scrum team.
Yeah.
Any advice there on changing because that's very difficult to change, is the organizational structure, right?
Yeah. So we come across this one always, like this is very normal, natural thing. So that's why in the challenging part we talked about silos. Like there are rooms in the organization. So no rooms talk to the other rooms. And if I am a UX expert, and if I am a, say, in the other group, so there is a possibility that we may not be aligned, or you may not be really work for the shared goal. So there is a possibility. So how can I break that barrier? How can I actually ensure that the walls can be broken? If I cannot break the wall, if some way virtually I can connect there. So that's how actually we touched upon this particular area. Some way that information needs to be radiate somewhere, which actually talks about like what is hindering, what is blocking, like in our achieving that bigger goal. Like so of course in the big room planning, like when you talk about some way, like need to be talked upon. This need to be really discussed and put it into the table. So it's up to the facilitator, like how well we can churn this information out from this corner and bring it into the common wall. So our always utmost attempt is actually there must be something hiding, blocking somewhere in the corner. So we should bring those out at any cost. So we work for that. We talk to the leadership team, and we see that like there should not be anything which is siloed. The thinking of the siloed, can we smell it? Can we some way really figure it out, detect it out? So that we can bring into this wall. And of course, it's not just the wall, it's also the technique of this liberating structure, which is also helping us. Like it's the people mindset, which is actually we are reprogramming them to really think big, not think silos. So the coaching also sometimes enable that to happen. We go to the team, we sit there, we coach them. So we have a multiple coaches who are actually playing this role, and that great impact we can seeing now. Like the same people who are with us for a long time, they have actually come out of that mindset. Like, okay, it is not only their habit, actually the business process is something like that, which is siloed. Now we are trying to re-engineering the business process so that its silos can be eliminated, like maybe through below stream mapping, or maybe user story journey mapping. Somewhere it has to be surface out, but it has to be worked upon.
So it's exactly why some people opt to work in startups, because you don't have those dependencies in a startup, right?
Yeah, true. But it's exactly, you're right, actually. But the enterprise, it's the bottleneck for the enterprise. Actually, the large organization, like giant organization, they have this kind of difficulties actually, because they have built over a period of time such a mammoth walls among themselves, which is causing some kind of a delay in the system. But they have all the money. Startup is struggling for the money. They have a cash
Thank
rich.
you, Chandan.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, who
Okay.
else has a question?
Any other thoughts?
Not a question actually, but just
Yeah.
adding on to this, what you shared, Chandan.
Yeah.
I also see that at times we also need to enable our leaders to understand what's more important. At times, people have become successful in certain way. They have been successful, say in the command and control methods, right? And they really want to know everything, and somehow they don't realize that it is showing. It is reflecting that they do not trust enough with the team, where they can imagine them to tackle those challenges by themselves, and then they try to put across a lot of process overhead on top of that. That makes it so complex. So how can we enable our leaders to trust teams? How do we enable them to go away from the command and control and not have the need of knowing everything of the change that is happening?
Yeah, good question, Mukesh, actually. So let us look at the Thanos face again. Thanos, I put Thanos. Look at this face. Look at this face. So he's our customer and he's our leader. Leader is sponsoring us. He's our customer. So how can you satisfy Thanos? So that is actually, you see the discovery journey. No tool, no process, no rule book will help us, because the Thanos itself is a complex system. So it's all our wisdom which you have gathered over a period of time, and by exercising all this wisdom, how close I can be with the leaders, how can I be influence the leaders, or basically I can enable him or her to help her or him goal. So I understand, empathize, work with that. And for that, coaching is going to significantly helpful for us. So I'm keep on repeating this coaching, because this is a very powerful technique. The great coaches can really do a miracle, and they can uplift that legacy mindset, what we were just sharing, the command and control, to that democratic mindset. Like, okay, let us all together build. So it takes time, patience. Sometimes we don't have patience, so we just leave them. Okay, I can't help him. Or he or she is not going to change. Thanos will be Thanos only. We can't change Thanos. There's no other go.
All right. With that, Chandan, maybe we should land it there because we're running up against the top of the hour. But I want to just personally thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Could listen for hours on end on you speak on this topic because it's so huge and so large, right? But yeah, thank you immensely from the Masters of the Universe for this opportunity to speak with us.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Sure. All right. Well, I shared in the chat, so you'll next couple days you'll receive a link to the recording of this as well as the slides. And Chandan said he'd also share a link on one of his. He'll have to look through 700 articles that he's written to find the Obeya tool article. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much for coming. And Chandan, thanks again. We will see you next time, okay? Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.